Hi, my dear friends. I tell different interesting stories in my video every week. There is an amazing message in its stories that can motivate you, entertain you, and inspire you. Which stories that I would like to tell you today? Before telling the story, I would like you to click subscribe so that whenever I come up with a new story, you can receive it. So don't miss. And remember to share the story later. What is the message of this story? Here is the message. If you want change in your life, stop doing what you have always done, or you will keep getting what you always got. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. The video is the food for the show, and the story is about transformation that I cannot wait to share with you. So let's watch the movie.
Your eye with steroids, and they told me there was no treatment. You're just gonna, your vision may never fully come back, and there was literally a day I couldn't see out of my right.
Are you ready for changes in your life?
Brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a reflection of your external environment. It's an artifact from the past, of all the things you've learned and all the things that you've experienced. It's wired or mapped in your brain. So if you wake up every morning and you get out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before, the toilet like you always do, and then you get up and you walk over to the mirror and you look in the mirror to remember who you are, and then you get in the shower and you wash yourself in the same routine way as you always do, and then you dress yourself and groom yourself to look like everybody expects you to look, drive to work in the same routine fashion, in the same route, and then you get to work and you do the things that you can memorize and do so well. And then you see those same people that push the same emotional buttons. You know, those people. And then you hurry up and you go home. And you hurry up and you eat. And you hurry up and check your email. And then you hurry up and watch your favorite television show. And you hurry up and go to bed so you can hurry up and do it all. Now here's my question. Did your brain change at all that day? What if you woke up in the morning, and instead of getting up and doing the same exact thing, the exact same time, seeing the same people, what if you eliminated the external environment? What if you put your body away, because the change is to be greater than the body? And if the body's become the mind, then you have to retrain it. And what if you said, I'm not going to live in my predictable linear time? And you said, what is the greatest expression of myself that I can be today? Let me master this one day as a lifetime. And you said, let me remind myself of the thoughts that are connected to the old self, and I want to become so conscious of those unconscious thoughts they would never slip by my awareness again. And what if you said, let me observe my behaviors? And just like you watching yourself doing a public speech or hitting a golf ball or hitting a tennis ball, if you can observe yourself, you'll self-correct. Wouldn't you agree? What if you said, let me just take a look at how I've been acting? And like Gandalf on the bridge, you said, you may not pass today. You may not pass ever again. And you made a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carried a level of energy that was greater than the hardwired programs in your brain, the emotional addictions in your body, and your body responded to a new mind. And what if you said, these emotions that keep me anchored to the past, I will not drop to a lower denominator today. And you became clear for who you wanted to be. You lit a match in a dark place. And then you said, how would greatness live today? How will I love? Can I be present? Can I open my heart? How will I behave? And you begin to think in new and unusual ways. First, it's working on transformation. And the body is looking for its chemical rush. And it's sending signals up the spinal cord to the thinking brain. And it's looking, the thermostat in the brain is measuring the amount of chemicals of suffering or guilt or shame. All of a sudden, you're no longer thinking that way, and your body is craving those chemicals. It's modified its receptor sites and saying, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. You think you're doing all this? I'm doing it for you. You're going to quit right now? And all of a sudden, it starts to send signals back to the brain. All of a sudden, you hear those voices in your head. You're too much like your mother. You'll never change. Forget it. Start tomorrow. And you sit down with that body and you say, that's all you got? That's your best? That's it? Come on. And you say, come on. We're not getting up until we're in a state of joy, or we are in a state of gratitude. And now you are conditioning the body to a new mind. And every time it wants to move to the past because it's emotionally frustrated or starts to anticipate the future, you bring it back to the present moment. Every time you do that, you're reconditioning your body to a new mind. Your job is to maintain that modified state, independent of the conditions in your environment, independent of the addictions or habits of your body, and independent of time. And if you can, get ready, because something unusual is going to happen in your life.
The moment the body is free from being enslaved, that moment you were in reality from a whole different place.
The people come to me and say, Sadhguru, my boss, he's horrible, my mother-in-law, she's not even human, my wife, she's such a pain, my husband like this. I say, you come here to the yoga center, I'll make sure your boss, mother-in-law, wife, husband, nobody enters this place, just you. I'll give you a nice place to live, good food to eat. Nothing to do, just be happy, that's all. You must be just joyful. I'll make random checks on you. If I find you unhappy or miserable, then I won't feed you because I don't believe in feeding misery. If you remain joyful, I will feed you for the rest of your life and take care of you like you're my prized guest. But if you show misery, we won't feed you. Well, you leave them in one room for 24 hours. You will see in how many ways they'll twist themselves out. It's unbelievable. Because when you're alone, if you're miserable, obviously you're in bad company.
Right.
I'm with you, I'm miserable. I think it's because of this guy I'm miserable, there is this guy I'm miserable. I'm sitting here alone and miserable. Now who?
Right.
Who is causing misery?
How do we get out of that though?
No, essentially one must understand human experience is caused from within, not from outside.
Right.
What we do, arrangements we do outside in the form of home, family, automobile, this, that, these are arrangements to facilitate our activity. So if you determine what's happening within this, your whole experience of life will be determined by you, nobody else but you, isn't it? The events around you may not be determined by you, but how your experience of life is on this planet is 100% determined by you if you take charge of this.
If you want to master your life, it's about owning accountable perceptions. Realize that it has nothing to do out there with what's happening with your life, it has everything to do with how you perceive it. How you perceive, what you decide to do it, and how you act upon it is where you have control over it. You only have control over perception, decisions, and actions. And so, if you go and balance out your perceptions, you'll have a loving decision and action, and you'll be grateful. And when you do, you don't have a bunch of baggage. Actually, every time you're in a state of gratitude, you store that experience in your superconscious mind, which is more light and more expanding. And every time you judge something and you're in this idea of blame game and shame game or whatever, you store that in your subconscious mind and you weigh yourself down. And those things will keep running your life until you finally liberate yourself by loving them. So why have the wisdom of the ages with the aging process when you can have it without it? Why not go and dig and ask questions? The quality of your life is basically the quality of the questions you ask. If you ask questions that help you balance your perception, there's nothing there to forgive. There's nothing to say you're sorry about. I remember Jim Paulsky many years ago wrote the book, Love is Not Having to Say You're Sorry kind of thing. At first I was going, well, that's interesting. But now I understand it fully. When you actually get to a point where you see the whole picture, not just the moral, I always say the moral hypocrisies are incomplete awarenesses of a narrow mind instead of a broad-minded awareness to see the whole. And when you see the whole, there's something to be thankful for. When you don't, there's something to be judging. Remember, when you're infatuated with somebody, you're conscious of the upsides, unconscious of the downside. That's a judgment. When you're resentful to something, you're conscious of the downside, unconscious of the upsides. But when you're conscious of both sides, you're thankful and you feel love. And there's nothing to forgive and nothing to say you're sorry about. There's just something to be appreciative of. And then you appreciate and value, you help them appreciate and value, and move forward in life. Anything that you can't say thank you for is baggage. You can tell me how you want to live.
Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. A new you does more changes that make the biggest difference to your life. It's time for to enjoy our life, trust our transformation by growing Buddhas with a positive attitude, and believe that we are completely in control of our emotional state. I love to hear how it is working for you. I think it will serve you well. And remember to please subscribe so that you won't miss the interesting story in the next video I make. And I'm sure you will love this story. May you have a fabulous day and see you in my next video.